Hi, I'm Martin Gren, co-founder of Axis and co-inventor of the world's first IP camera. I'm here for the Security AMA. So what we see at Axis since a couple of years, almost 10 years now, is IP audio. Because we know audio is almost all analog. In our homes, we usually use stuff like Sonos or other digital type of audio. But if you look on a professional market, on an airport, train station, hotel, it's all analog. And we know it's not going to stay analog forever. So using IP, you can easily set up zoning, you can make changes, you can make announcements. And the benefits are the same as IP video, so it's more expensive acquisition cost, but it's much lower cost of ownership over the years. Well, there were a couple of things. I mean, one of the main initial benefits was power over Ethernet. So you only had one cable instead of two, and you did not need to have a certified electrician for the 110 volt install. So the next came the resolution, because obviously IP video doesn't have a limit. So we had on analog, I mean, it was basically 4 CIF in PAL or NTSC. Now with the IP video, we could break that standard. And initially there was a megapixel race, you may remember. But then we put down the foot and we said, hey, what the industry needs is a new standard. And we defined the standard to be full HD. And that's what people needed, something that the consultants could spec in. I want at least full HD video. Everyone got a flat screen television in their homes. So that was one of the most important steps we did. And finally, many people told us that, well, analog will always be more light sensitive. So of course, at that time, it was true. So we spent a lot of time on R&D. We really have to make IP video more light sensitive and analog. And back in 2012, we made it with our light finder technology. Yeah, so the resistance we faced were that before we came into this industry, remember how it was based on manufacturers' reps, it was geographical exclusivity, and the channel was not very structured. It could be manufactured to end user, could be manufactured to integrator, or manufactured to distributor. But it was not a clean model. It doesn't build any trust. It's not a joy to do business with. So when we came in, we applied our 2-tiered model, which we had been using for print servers for many years, and we just took it for the cameras. It was not a part of our strategy. It's just that this was the only thing we knew. And it turned out to be a big success in the video surveillance industry. And this is today, I think, a gold standard for how to do it. I think AI is more like a feature. So I don't think the AI is really reflecting the channel. I mean, it's obviously having the functionality, making it easy to use. Well, I mean, if we're talking cameras, we have seen, a tremendous growth, in the multi-imaging devices. We see PDR-Z becoming a mainstream feature. And we see merging of various technologies like thermal and visible into one single stream is one trend. Well, we've heard all the false promises. I mean, you remember back in like 2005 when object video and some other companies were the big thing. And they talked about millions of deployed video analytics. And then after the financial bubble burst in 2008, they ran out of cash, and we didn't see anything, we didn't miss anything out of it. And today with AI, we see a lot of promises, but we have to remember that AI is expensive. If you do the processing in the cloud for cameras, it's a lot of data, and it's a lot of processing, and somebody has to foot the bill. So a much better approach would be to do the processing at the edge, and then combine the different cameras in the cloud or in a local server, because that would be much more cost effective and also less power consumption. Yeah, I mean, we're a European company, so we certainly know about GDPR and privacy. So AI, I mean, it's of course about having responsible training. You need to know where has your data been trained, so it's not biased to a certain thing. And AI is an important thing in our cameras. We obviously use it for like object analytics and so on, which, I mean, everyone expects. But guess what? One of the main applications is actually setting the image quality. Everyone who's been using a camera knows that it's a lot of adjustments you have to do in order to get the optimal performance. And because nobody makes the adjustments on a security camera, the self-adjustment has to be really accurate. And by having AI, which we have had for like 5 years or more, you actually get much better settings. And it's just one way how Axis cameras stand out from the competition. Well, maybe you could do some kind of certification. I haven't really thought of this. But I mean, knowing that you have ethical training on your AI, I think is one very important aspect. So, I mean, we always increase the resolutions. We add mechanical features. I mean, we're adding more and more PDRZs, for instance, multi-imagers. You've probably seen our Peanut cameras, which is really a big success. And this is the direction we're going. Higher and higher resolutions, much easier to set up and configuration. For instance, we are now launching our Bluetooth-based configuration tool. So you can just have your phone and it will automatically search the closest camera and you can do the basic install, unless it's a PTRC when you don't need to do it. Well, I mean, it's obviously a lot of mechanics involved. People forget that. Lens are mechanics. It's mechanics innovation that makes reliable outdoor cameras. It's innovation such as having a common standard across your product line, so you don't have a particular mount for one set of products and other mounts for others. And that's actually a very important innovation, because cameras sit for a long time, and after a long time they will be replaced. And if you have a new mount standard, you're not so happy. It's going to be expensive. Well, I mean, we have seen ONVIF being a really big success. So, I mean, I don't know the current status, but last time I counted, it was more than 500 manufacturers adopting to the standard. And that's a big hit. I don't think we have 500 manufacturers nowadays. So ONVIF has been a success. We tried to make an ONVIF for access control. It didn't make it because there were so many other standards. So obviously ONVIF is specifically made for video, but I'm sure it's going to evolve and it will also be updated. Yeah, the Bluetooth protocol, I can talk for 2 hours on this subject, was made in 1999 by a consortium of initially 6 large telcos and hundreds of mid-sized telcos. And the resulting standard was obviously the sum of all special interests, which basically made Bluetooth an unusable technology for data communication, because it was all built for audio. And if you remember, it was about 2015 that you at the first time actually could use Bluetooth reliably. That's how long time it took. But now when we have it, it's an amazing and great technology. But what they were successful with was the adoption, the market penetration. But from a technology point of view, not until they redid it from scratch, which happened sometime 2012 to 2015, it actually became usable. I can write a book on this subject. Oh, actually, one of my favorites was when I was a baseball player. You remember how I was trying to break the glass of the Axis camera and we were filming it? That was one of my favorites. So when I was a small kid, I played a lot with Lego. And then I learned about electronics and I realized, oh, this is me. So I had to finance the components I purchased, and my parents were teachers. So I didn't get like a summertime job. I had to make a living out of my own. And so I sold electronic gadgets to my friends. And the first success, that was a disco light controller. So I started selling the disco light controllers using my classmates as my channel. So they were selling, I mean, basically using the brothers, sisters, cousins. So I pretty much covered all of southern Sweden for disco light controllers. And I learned the hard way that you have to treat every one of your partners equally, because if not, this was high school, they beat you up, right? Remember high school? So this is also true in business. They don't beat you up physically, but they certainly are not going to do business with you again if you don't treat them fairly. And treating fairly doesn't mean the same price. It means that you can justify the price difference. Someone buying a lot of disco light controllers with no support should of course get a better price than the one who sells 1 or 2 at a time, causing a lot of support. You can explain that, and then you won't get beating up. And I'm a short guy with glasses. I really don't want that.
Thank you so much, Mark.
Thank you.